A giant containment box is on its way tonight to that oil spill still gushing in the Gulf of Mexico. The slick has grown and changed shape over the past 2 weeks. You can see how it's now starting to break apart. So it's not only Louisiana that's threatened, but Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida too. The CBC's Paul Hunter is in Pensacola. Paul.
Wendy, if the oil oozing its way around the Gulf hits the public part of the coastline, this is pretty much where it would strike first, the Florida Panhandle, where people continue to brace for it.
How'd you like to see these things in the water when you're on vacation in Florida? Oil barriers. On the other hand, better to have barriers wrecking the view than oil wrecking the sand, even if that giant slick is biding its time striking the coast.
They're now saying 72 hours.
They've been saying 72 hours since last week.
In other words, scary as it is, they'll believe it when they see it.
So they've got these orange oil barriers in scattered places along the shore throughout this area in case oil gets close. But the problem is, it's a long beach.
And most of it is fully unprotected. Just yesterday, people here said they could smell oil in the air. It stung their eyes. So they're preparing hard. This heavy-duty trailer is for scooped-up, sludgy water should the slick get close.
Show of hand, anybody that got a twig car, boat captain.
And at this job fair in Pensacola, they've had 3,000 applicants in less than a week for work aimed at keeping the oil away or cleaning up after it hits.
Because we're very known worldwide, for our pretty beaches and everything, and sugar white sands, and we've never had a catastrophic thing happen like this, and it definitely would affect us negatively.
All the while, it creeps ever closer. No longer just an oily sheen. Now gobs of it loom just over the watery horizon. Today, hope in the shape of a 4-story, freshly made concrete box, now en route to the busted oil well 1.5 kilometers underwater. The plan? Plop it on top of the leak by early next week. And cross your fingers.
And maybe, Wendy, it would stop most of the gushing. Maybe.
Thanks, Paul. That's Paul Hunter in Pensacola, Florida. Our science correspondent Bob McDonald is also here tonight to explain how that giant concrete box will actually work. You've got a little demo for us?
Let me show you, Wendy, with my coffee cup and a straw here. Basically, what they're doing is they're going to drop this big funnel, which weighs 100 tons and is 4 stories high, over top of the leak. And they're hoping that its weight will sink it into the mud and form a seal around the bottom. This isn't going to stop the leak. The oil will still be coming out, but now it'll go up the funnel and then up this hose onto a tanker ship so they can contain it. Here's the problem. The cable that they're dropping this thing down from is 1.5 kilometers long, 5,000 feet. They've never done it that depth. That means that the thing's going to be moving because it's on a ship that's moving up above. So they have to be very careful to get it right over the hole. Meanwhile, there's oil coming up from below, which could try to push it from side to side. So it's a very tricky operation, but if they get it right, they might get 85 to 90% of that oil.
Wow. So an action flick with real consequences.
Let's hope it really works.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, Wendy.
The national science correspondent, Bob McDonald.